Sylvia Skefich, Doctor of Chiropractic, and today we're going to be reviewing exercises using a wobble board or a wobble pad in this instance. And these are exercises to strengthen and make a supportive ankle structure for you. It's also an exercise that can be used to improve your balance, so 2 separate goals, and all done with this one exercise. So why is balance important? Why do we need to practice balance? In my opinion, balance is one of the most important things that you can practice. As we age, everything tends to degrade a little, including our sense of balance. So we can practice our balance to keep ourselves feeling strong and sure and secure as we move about in our world. We know that elderly people, even ones that are doing really great, they could take a fall and break a hip, and that can be the beginning of the end for them. So practicing our balance early can keep us just feeling smart and secure in the world. There's a type of nerve ending called the proprioceptors. They're these little nerve endings throughout the joints of the body, and they feed information to our brain about joint position sense. So even with my eyes closed, I can tell where my hand is in space, and that's because my proprioceptors are feeding that information into my brain. Well, that seems obvious, but that's happening all the time in our situations of climbing stairs, going off a curb while you're looking over your shoulder to say hi to a friend. And this gets to be very complex. And if you have great proprioception and great balance, you'll be able to do this with effortless ease. And as we age, we want to be able to carry these little slips and falls that can happen in the shower or little difficult situations and just be able to pick right up and without a blip, go right forward. So balance exercise can help us with that and just to stay as strong and sure as possible. This exercise we're going to go over today is also a really great ankle strengthening or ankle rehab exercise. So people can need to rehab their ankles from an old injury, maybe 10 or more years ago, where it didn't heal quite right. This exercise will not only strengthen and create sort of a cuff of our own natural strength and stability using our own tissues around the ankle, but it will also do it in a mobilization so that it helps mobilize stuck points through their natural ranges of motion, which should be there. Some people have just a natural weakness in their ligament system. They just are more slack than somebody else might be. So if someone is noticing that in their ankles, they tend to turn their ankle a lot, or they just feel like they are weak and unstable, they can use this exercise to stabilize themselves. So what you need for this exercise, you do actually need a device, but it can be something simple from your house. I'll tell you about that, but what I like to use is this balance disc. It's a wobble cushion or a wobble board of sorts. And I like this because it's not super unstable, but it does give a controlled instability for us to practice our balance on and to move our foot through as we stand on this device. This is by Body Sport. It's available at many chiropractic offices. It's under $30. We carry these. Now, if you don't have this and you want to begin your exercise right away, you can use something from your house. You could try using a couch cushion. And we're going to be standing on the device, so find something that you can stand on and get a little bit of instability. Even if you're not good at balance and you're a little insecure about this, you can even use a thick carpet, just standing on your own thick carpet. Here's something else I just had around the house, and this is a cushion that you sit on. I could put it on the floor and use this for my exercise. And before we get started telling you about how to do the exercise, there are other balance devices that people may have, but I don't recommend the very unstable ones for this exercise. This really wobbles around, and it's great for certain exercises, but this particular one that we're going to go over today, I would use something a little more stable, like the balance disc or a cushion on the floor. So by the way, don't attempt to do this exercise if you feel that there's any reason that might put you at risk. If you have serious balance issues or lightheadedness issues or pain or instability, consult your healthcare expert or your exercise expert before trying to do this yourself if you feel the least bit uncertain about it. You can start off doing this exercise. I'm going to begin to teach you how it's done. And you can do it against a wall, either with one hand against a wall or facing a wall with both hands against the wall. It's also easier to do this exercise looking down at your feet. It's a little harder to do it looking up at the horizon, and it's very hard to do it looking up. So you can know those levels of difficulty and start off where you feel comfortable. Looking down at your feet might be the easiest. So I'm going to place my device on the floor, and we're going to begin to go over how this exercise is done. All right, so you put your device on the floor, and the trick to this is to go slow and controlled. Right now I'm just sort of dangling around. I haven't begun to do my exercise yet. It's hard to balance on these things. So I'm going to slowly arc my foot, toe forward, and then controlled and slow arc my feet. I'm trying to do it symmetrically, heels back, and you can see why it is hard. It's much easier to go like this, but that is not the exercise that we're going to do. We want it to be hard. Heels back, toes forward. And then you just do 10 of those in a row. Heels back, toes forward. Slow and controlled. If your mind isn't with you during the whole arc, you can use it also as a concentration exercise and try and keep your mind with you at every arc of the motion. Now I'm going to switch out my device. I could go straight to my side to sides. That's number 2. You try and tip your feet as though you're pointing the palms of your feet to the right and to the left. Don't hurt your knees. And you want it slow and controlled. But just to show you how it could be used at home on a different kind of cushion. This is just a foam pad. But you can sort of tilt the edges of your feet, the left side of both feet down, and then the right side of both feet down 10 times in a row. And if you didn't have a piece of foam at home, you could use perhaps a couch cushion of some type. And this isn't as good as the cushion, but some cushions are actually fluffier. This one has feathers in it, which I don't support ethically, by the way. But if it was a more synthetic fabric, it would probably work better. So let's go back to the balance cushion, because we've done 2 steps, which I'll review, and we're going to do 3 total. So we're going to do 10 in a row of the front to back, toe down, heel downs. We're going to go 10 in a row of the side to sides, edges downs, right to left. And we're going to go 3 in a row, pie pans. So the pie pan is where you put your toes down, and then you begin like a clock to trace the edges. And again, I'm going a little too fast because I'm not as strong as I wanted to be. The slower it is that you do this exercise, the harder it is. So you want to do it as slow as possible. 3 in a row one way, 3 in a row the other way. It doesn't matter what order you do these in. You could start with your pie pans, go to your front to backs, but you do want to do them all in a row. 10 in a row, front to backs, 3 in a row of the pie pans. Don't do 1 pie pan and 1 front to back. You really want to repeat the strain, because that strain is what builds your tissues over time, creating a controlled strain that calls fibers to the region. Okay, so now that we've got all those details down, let's just run through it one time together. And so you put your device on the floor, your cushion or your balance disc. You support yourself in a way where you feel safe against the wall, perhaps in a doorway, 1 hand, 2 hands. I'm just going to do it with no support right here for the sake of the video. And so I'm going to begin my slow, controlled arcs. Toe down, heel down. 1, 2, 3. I'm beginning to look up towards the horizon now. 4. 5. I realize sometimes I'm a little out of control and I'm gliding through too quickly. 6. I want it to be very slow and very controlled. 7. I'm beginning to look up higher. 8. It could take you weeks to lift your eyes up though, so don't worry. Not 8. And now we're going into 9. And we're coming to our 10th one and our final one. 10. Now we'll do the sideways ones. Tilting to the side, only if your knees can tolerate it. 1, I'm going to start that as my 1. 2, attempting to tilt the palms of the feet, 3, to either side. 4, in a very slow and controlled way. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then don't do this if it's hurting your knees. If you need to do less reps, do less reps. Now we're going to do the pie pans. So I'm starting with my toes down and beginning to do my circles. I'm going too fast. I need to really get control. I just did 1 circle clockwise, from my perspective clockwise. 2 circles. We're going to just do 3 in each direction. 3. Now I'm going to go the other way. 1. You can do this when you're listening to the radio. 2. Watching TV or talking to your relatives and family. 3. And then you're done. Do this once a day for 2 weeks if you're rehabbing a specific complaint, and a couple times a week thereafter for your balance and proprioception exercises, and you'll be good to go. We'll see you here on the next video.